Oh my gosh,
Fundamentals.
we would be the bad boys of Little League. I'm telling you now, we would beat the tar out of the other team. I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has to
Mount
be.
Pubmore. I
Has
mean,
to be.
Has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
Man, I'm gonna get real theological on y'all. I think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. I'll just be real honest.
Get Luke Combs. I was begging for Luke Combs not too long ago. We'll get Luke Combs on here. I challenge Luke. I think I can actually beat him in shotgunning a beer. So if he thinks he's got the cojones to come on and try, then by all means, Luke, bring it on.
That's the intro. You just hit my promo for me, James. I love it. Episode 145. It's the Dos Amigos. The dynamic duo. The terrific trolls. I don't know. I thought I had all day to come up with something. I just couldn't. Preacher man Fitzsimmons. He's in the trenches right now. In Easter Sunday, getting ready for it. This one's for you, Father Fitz. Devin, he came back to life, and now he's gone missing. We got to put him on a milk carton. Matt, I think it's official. We put Matt on a shirt. R.I.P. to Matt. But it's gonna be fun, Tim. We were talking before we got on, and you were like, "Hey, I don't know shit about what we're about to talk about except for the NFL," and so that's always the best conversations we're gonna have, I think.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry, listeners. I dropped the ball today. Parker was on it, gave us a list of topics, and I just blew it. So just don't pay attention much to me this episode.
Well, I dropped the ball apparently last week, and if you try to watch us on YouTube, you saw the first 10 minutes, and then the feed just stopped, and then we were like, all right, we'll record on our local devices, and we'll still put out the podcast. And I don't know if I didn't unmute us. I don't know, but I have the video of an hour plus conversation with us, but zero audio. And I've been on the phone with Switcher. I've emailed them. The cloud. I don't even know what the cloud is. I've been trying to get up in there and figure it out. But dude, it's another lost episode. I think we have 2 lost episodes out there. And
yeah. Well, to your credit, Parker, I mean, we've done a lot of episodes and we've only lost 2. So give yourself props. All right.
Yeah, I'll take it.
If I was leading this thing, we'd have a lot more casualties. All right.
I appreciate that. Sometimes you need that little hype up, and that's what Tim's good for.
Got you, dog.
Good for the soul. All right. So this fun fact, it's a little biased for me. It's wrestling kind of inspired. Just had March Madness wrestling NCAA championships. I don't know if you saw this, but Matt Ramos from Purdue took down the defending 3-time champion Spencer Lee. Spencer Lee was going for his fourth consecutive national championship. If you guys might remember him last year, he tore both his ACLs and still won a natty. Dude's just an animal, a beast, right? His first 2 rounds in the NCAA championship this year didn't go past the second period. He was putting putting people to bed. Night. Easy victories for the kid, Spencer Lee. Matt Ramos from Purdue, sophomore. Just trying to make an interesting match here. This is the semifinals to get into the finals. A lot of pressure on Matt Ramos. Had already got whooped by Spencer Lee before, an 8-point victory by Spencer Lee. And wrestling, that's significant amount of victory here. Matt Ramos shocks the world, down by 2, third period, gets the reversal, puts Spencer Lee on his back. Bang! Pin. Matt Ramos shocks the world. I was watching it and I was like, there's no way Spencer Lee is going to get beat. I'm not an Iowa Hawkeye fan or anything, but I love greatness. There's only been 4 at that point. There had only been 4 cats that have won 4 national championships. And I thought, we're going to watch history. Spencer Lee is going to be the 5th one. This is going to be awesome to watch. And Matt Ramos had other plans. Now, unfortunately, Matt Ramos did not. He got beat in the finals. He got whooped pretty bad. But still, you took out the 3-time national champion. You should feel good about you, and you got 2 more years at this thing. So hats off to you, Ramos. And so that kind of gets the gears growing. what's the biggest sports upset? Because for me, this is equivalent of Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. This is the New York Giants beating the undefeated New England Patriots. Like, this was not supposed to happen. So I know people don't watch wrestling. I'm one of like the 1% to watch it, but it's the biggest upset I can think of in sports. Tim, what would you say your biggest upset is?
Oh man. You kind of course, you named the one that came to mind initially, the Giants and the Pats. But it was almost like, I don't know. It's different in that scenario because you kind of, when you have that much buildup, you kind of almost expect the upset.
Yeah.
But I feel like with this, at least from like an outsider, like I'm not very familiar with, college wrestling. There doesn't seem to be this like, oh, Ramos is going to come back and like it's going to be this huge buildup where he could upset him. It seemed like this genuinely came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what equates to that. Like, oh man. I mean, it's so tough because it's also individual sports. It's mano a mano. It's not a team sport. It's not. Oh man, it's not this. I don't know. Does anything else come to mind for you?
I looked up some of like the greatest upsets in sports, and like for me, and I'm biased. I'm the wrestling coach. I love it. There's nothing that really like stuck out to me. Like, damn, because you're right. It is an individual sport, and Spencer Lee was up in the third period, the last period. He was up, and it like, and to get pinned is like mind-boggling to me. But they named Saudi Arabia beating Argentina in the World Cup last year. Now, Argentina did go on and win the World Cup, but the group stage, Saudi Arabia upset them, and that was a big upset. We talked about that on here. Probably the most famous upset that they made a movie, Miracle, right? The 1980 hockey Olympics, USA beating the Soviets. But yeah, like for an individual sport, like I had to go to Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas to be like the closest one I could think of. Like this is watch those listeners. If you get a chance, just look up Spencer Lee. He's an incredible athlete. As I said, he won a natty with 2 torn ACLs. Like he's a badass dude. Now, unfortunately, he did injury default out of the tournament. I don't know if his knees are bothering him. I don't know if it was his ego was hurt. I don't know it. And I hate it. I don't want it to diminish his legacy because his legacy is phenomenal to win 3 national championships in a row. But yeah, shout out to Matt Ramos though. Shocking the world.
Yeah, really. And the Miracle on Ice, that came to mind too. But again, it's a whole other level when it's 1v1. Like the world is watching you. So I don't know. I mean, you had some great examples there, but I don't know if you can compare this to anything that we've seen recently. I really don't.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. We're going to stay with wrestling a little bit. As I said, I'm a little selfish here today. We do have a guy, the 5th all time to win his 4 national championships in a row from Cornell, simply known as Yanni. The dude is just a phenomenal wrestler. To win 4 national championships in the sport of wrestling as I said, it's only been 4 people up until Yanni to do it. And this year we thought we were going to get 2 additional people to it, Spencer Lee and Yanni. Yanni was the only one to get it done, but just hats off to Yanni here. Folks, I know March Madness is all about basketball, but next March, if you get a chance, turn to ESPN, at least watch the finals. You'll see just an amazing sport that wrestling is, and it's to have stories like this. This doesn't come around very often. The last person to do this was Penn State's head coach, Kel Sanders, and that was way back. So it was cool to watch history this past weekend, and just shout out to the boy Yanni, shout out to Cornell, and let's help grow the sport of wrestling. Tim, I think you'd really enjoy watching it.
I might need to get into it. If the fans are anything like that mother who crushed her glasses,
that's Spencer Lee's mom. Yeah.
Then I am all for it. So I might need to get involved. I've been needing a new pair of glasses too, so maybe I can crush them, throw them down.
Dude, what a wild scene that is. I wish I had a video clip. I'd show it, but like to be that like that just reminds me of as a little kid. Like, I don't know about you, I'd throw my controller. I get mad if I lost a video game or something, or like I'd like squeeze it to like almost try to break it, but I wouldn't. Yeah. but Spencer Lee's mom just went full out Hulk mode and was like, I'm snapping these glasses. Oh,
I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of pressure. Like a lot of people were dogging her, and I'm like, man, if that was my kid doing it, like, I'd be pissed. I'd be breaking stuff too. But like, it's just I don't know. Just see that visceral reaction of just like heartache and anger. It's just I don't know. It's pretty raw. It's pretty
It's
raw seeing
raw.
that. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? Shout out to her. She didn't take it out on anybody. She didn't like take it out on anything that would cause like other people problems.
Yeah.
It's going to be her future problem that she can't see where shit anymore.
Can't
But-
see. Where the hell am I?
But like, if you're one of those people that wear your emotions on your sleeves and you just watch your son or daughter kind of lose the thing they've been working their whole life for, almost like, I 100% shout out to that mom to be that raw, but also to be like, I'm not going to fuck up anyone else's day
Yeah.
just for my next 24 hours. So I get a new pair of glasses or something. But,
yeah. Good point.
all right, let's transition. Let's talk about the World Baseball Classic. Team USA lost to Mexico in the group play. They bounce back. They find their way in the championship, but they're going against the undefeated Japanese team. Japan, red hot. Showtime Ohani. Lights out of the mount. Lights out at the mound. And on to batting as well. I can't talk. We're shit. Team Japan, though, they win 3-2. Showtime goes against Mike Trout. Last at bat. 1, 2, 3 strikes him out. They're teammates in the Angels. So I'm sure that had a little extra chip on Showtime's shoulder there to go strike out your teammate and fellow captain. But man, shout out to Japan winning their third World Baseball Classic. They won 2006, 2009, and now 2023. So hats off to you. I wish we had Devin here. I know he was glued to this whole thing and watching it. But wherever you are, Devin, this one's for you.
Yeah. R.I.P. Devin. But I think, I don't know much about the World Baseball Classic, but I think with this, when you think of the world sports, I'm so isolated to like US and football and all this, but like baseball is truly, it truly has grown into this international sport. You see all these international players coming into the MLB, and then to see something like this where, from the outsider's perspective, I don't follow baseball very often, but when I see like Team Japan beats Team USA for the World, Baseball Championship or Classic, I'm like, whoa, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
this is huge. This isn't just like, oh yeah, it's the US sport, or it's like, no, this is worldwide here. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and it's a sport that we developed, we created baseball, right? And just to see the world just take off with it is amazing. I'm sure England and Europe feel that way with soccer and stuff. Like it's kind of dope as hell. Shout out to USA, shout out to Bald Eagles, George Washington, and baseball. The most American things you could do, and Japan was more American us than we were last night, but that's okay. We'll bounce back next year.
Like, do you ever think, like, there's obviously like NBA in Europe,
Yeah.
big time in Europe, but do you think it would ever get to this level where like Team Japan would beat Team USA in basketball? You think it would be? I know that's an extreme example, but
Yeah.
like, do you think basketball has the potential to get that big like baseball is, or do you think it's a little more selected on areas?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I think baseball might be an easier sport for some of these poor countries to play. You got stick and ball,
Yeah.
and that's all you need. Where basketball, you need 2 hoops and a ball, or at least 1 hoop and a ball, and hoops can be somewhat expensive. That's a good question. I don't know, because I think if this happened in basketball, I think all of United States would be up in an uproar. When we don't win the gold in Olympics, we're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
this, like, we don't care about the other country that won it. Like, oh, shout out to them. They had all this great talent. No, it's like, the hell did we just do? Like, it's crazy. Now, I do think if there's an all-European league team to take on the Team USA, I think that's one hell of a game.
Ooh.
I think that'd
Oh,
be really cool.
man.
But like to have individual countries like the World Baseball Classic, I think we're a little far away, but it's catching up, man. You know, you got to think when we were growing up, Yao Ming was like this mythical creature for China, and now you watch Chinese basketball players and you know Jeremy Lin and like people of Chinese descent. Like, man, it's really like created a great basketball culture over in the Pacific, and I think it's continued to grow, just like Jokic and the Europe is doing. You know, Tony Parker kind of started that, and Dirk. So I I can see it growing. I just think we're a couple years away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely getting there. I agree with you. I just don't know if it's like you said, Parker. It's almost like uh US basketball is typically on another level, but this, from an outsider's perspective, definitely tells me that there is no US baseball on another level. Like this all seems pretty it seems pretty even, if not US is a little behind on developing some players homegrown. So it's just an interesting perspective, I think.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. And it's, you know, I like the way baseball does this, though. It's right before the season, kind of gives these guys like a break from spring training, and then they'll get back into spring training. But it like brings some juice to baseball a little bit, makes it fun, and makes it a global sport. Because I think you're right. Like, we look at, we lost to Mexico, we lost to Japan, and it's like, oh shit, should we be losing to these guys? Like, do we need to like up our rosters? Do we need to get better talent, or do we just need to develop our homegrown talent more? And you know, Jay Gray, she sent us a post. I don't think you were part of it on Instagram. Yeah, I know you're not, because you're not part of social media. But Cuban players decided to defect from Cuba and play for the United States team. And like, I know that's happened before, like Antonius Chapman and stuff. And I wonder if we have some American players that are, you know, of Japanese descent, or of, you know, Mexican descent, or, you know, whatever the other country that the mom or dad might be from, or maybe where they were born, maybe they start defecting to those countries. Like, well, shit, this team might actually win. Like, you know, it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't think about that.
All right, let's move to the college March Madness, man. And I don't know how much rounds 1 and 2 games you get to watch. Phenomenal games. And you love a good upset. You love a good dog.
Oh, yeah. Give me
Tons
them
of
dogs.
dogs won. The
Yeah, I
dogs
saw
won.
that. Goodness
awesome.
gracious.
You know, let's just talk with number 1, Purdue. We gave shout out to Purdue wrestling. Shout down.
Yeah,
Purdue
really.
men's basketball. Number 1 loses to Fairleigh Dickinson University. And if you're like me, where the Fairleigh is that at? It's a North Carolina school. FDU, baby.
Wow.
Holding it down. Coach Anderson just got the job at Iona. He's leaving it for a bigger and better place, it seems like. But you know what? Fairleigh Dickinson University, or sorry, it's New Jersey, not North Carolina. I don't know what I was talking about.
Wow. Tease.
I know, my bad. But like FDU, man, you shocked the world. And yeah, they lost to FAU in round 2, but to beat a 1 seed, and we've seen a 1 seed go down in back-to-back years now. This is change of the guards here. 2, Arizona lose to Ivy League Princeton. Bunch of nerds taking down the Wildcats. Number 4, UVA took down by number 13, Furman. Shout out to us. We called that last week. I know there's no audio proof of it. But if you can read our lips on the video, we called it. Furman upset Virginia. Me fits in you. I think we're all part of it. And it's like, all right, like we know what we're talking about. And then Furman, they don't get done in round 2, but that's okay. Number 1, Kansas in round 2 loses number 8, Arkansas. Kind of an upset because it is 1 going against 8, but Arkansas was a red hot team throughout the year. It was kind of up and down for them a little bit, but they're looking good now. They get a 1-point win. And then Tom Izzo, we talked about him last week. Once again, no audio, but professional rip leaders, you can take it to the bank. We said Tom Izzo, an old school blue blood coach, dangerous in the NCAA tournament. And that's what we had. Marquette goes down at number 2, while Michigan State was number 7, 69-60. Great games. I was all for them, and I was pumped to see like great basketball from like the 1 seed all the way down to 16 seed. Like, this is an even tournament. Like, I really enjoyed it. Tim, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, this is why it's called March Madness, right? It's it's just craziness. You don't, yeah, they do the seedings and the rankings to establish the bracket, but truthfully, any given game could be an upset, and it's evident. Um, I know the audio wasn't available, but shout out to Evan, Father Fitz. I'm beefing with you because I put all my money on Purdue because you said they had some 7-foot guy, and they literally lost the first match. So Fitz, whenever you come back, you and I are gonna have words. But this is it. I mean, if you chomp at the bit for NCAA basketball, what more do you want? I mean, unless you're a Purdue fan, like this is what you want. So good games all around.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I was going to leave Fitz out of it. I wasn't going to put him in the doghouse there, but yeah. Tim, yeah, he was all in. He was like, yeah, lights out shooters, Purdue hottest team. They're probably going to win it.
Yeah, he had me convinced. I was like, all right, like, shoot, sign me up. I'm for the Boilermakers.
To Fitz's, hey, shout out to you. Knowing the nickname,
thanks.
knowing the mascot.
Thanks, man.
You know, and Fitz's credibility, he has been lights out for the pub parlay in college basketball. Like, I think he's like 8 for 9 on his picks. Anytime he picks college basketball, like he was money, but when it accounted, he let you down, Tim. He let you down.
Dang it. Can't have it.
Can't have it. Won't have it. Now, hypothetical, me and a gym coach were talking, and we're just like, you know, these type of upsets, it's great for the basketball. And if you're a 3-star, 4-star cat, you go to the bench for Duke or Kansas or Kentucky, or you go be a starter at one of these smaller schools, and you can start, you can show up for 3-4 years, and you can show up on the big dance, and you can make an upset, and you're a household name all of a sudden. I think this starts changes the game a little bit. I think we're going to see some more guys go to maybe the less blue blood schools, and we're going to see like just I think we're seeing it now. I think we're going to continue to see it, just like better competition, and a lot of these top recruits maybe not choosing the top schools that we would think of, maybe going a level down, and that forces guys level down, and now it kind of evens out everything. Because yeah, I mean, you're still going to have Bronny James going to UCLA or to Kentucky or whatever it might be, but I think the bulk of the population kind of shifts down, and like we see more even basketball throughout. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think to tie into that, I think some of these coaching changes, kind of we touched base on the old guards kind of changing. That had a lot to do with recruiting. Obviously, you want to play for Coach K or whoever. So as some of these coaches kind of change gears, I think that plays a part in it too. And the transfer portal, we've talked at length about it for college football.
Yeah.
I think we can see it. Just like you said, you can ride the bench, you can get some decent minutes, playing 6th or 7th man, or you can take one of these flyers and see if you can make it to the dance and everybody on campus knows your name. So I don't know. Shoot, I'd do it. I mean,
hell yeah.
Because you're getting more tape. You're going to get the ability to not necessarily, get high in the draft, but if you go pro or go to the next level, you're kind of more developed in a way, more court time. You're getting better looks. So I'm for it. Makes sense to me. It's a pretty sound, and it's not even an argument. It's a pretty sound idea.
Yeah. No, all right. We're on the same school of thought here. Let's move into the Sweet 16 games. Let's go down. We're going to pick them all, and hopefully we have some good luck this time. We'll see. All right. Number 1, Bama taking on number 5, San Diego State. Bama is a 7-point favorite. Over-under sets at 137. Bama used to be a football school. Now all of a sudden it seems like, hey, hold the phone. We can do both basketball and football. Who you picking here? You staying with the 1 seed, 1 or 2 alive, or are you taking the upset here?
Well, I always like the upset, so let's go the San Diego State Aztecs.
That a baby. Look at him.
Yes.
He knew the mascot. He's on fire. We got to ride that train with him.
Let's go.
All right. What the hell did I do?
I was gonna say who's Creighton play?
I got Creighton and Kansas State.
Wait, who are you picking? Yeah, back up. Hold up. Who are you picking? Wait, your audio's out, buddy. I got nothing. Nope. Nope. Unless it's on my end. We're having some technical difficulties. Hold. I'm getting audio for me, so I don't know. It's got to be on your end, I think. Oh, oh. Heard something. No, no, no.
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
We're live.
Sorry about that, guys. Creighton, or sorry, I'm taking Bama. I think they survived San Diego State here, but you knew the mascot, Tim, so that did waver me a little bit. But I'm gonna take Bama. Creighton takes on Princeton. I don't know what happened to my graphic there. Number 15, Princeton, who we just talked about, taking on number 6, Creighton. Creighton's a 10-point favorite here. Who do you take?
Give me the Creighton Croutons. Give me the Creighton Wildcats.
Blue Jays.
Okay, I would never have guessed that.
That's
Give me
all
the
right.
Creighton Blue Jays.
They're a 10-point favorite. But Princeton, man, they're a red hot team. I'm all about hotness. Blake Peters. You're saying who? You've been watching March Madness. You know exactly who Blake Peters is. Big old forward. Can run the floor, shoot up a 3, play defense. He does it all. He's a workhorse. Brings his lunch pail every day. Give me Princeton to win. Number 1, Houston taking on number 5, Miami. Once again, Houston. Only 2 1 seeds left, them and Bama. Trying to hold it down for the 1 seeds.
Ooh. You know, I'm going Hurricanes here. I'm going the upset. Give me the Canes. Yeah.
Dude, I'm with you. Give me Miami too. Let's throw up the U's together, baby. Like, shout out to Miami's women's team, also in the Sweet 16. So there's something in Miami's water down there. 3, Xavier taking on number 2, Texas. Texas 4-point favorite.
Give me the Xavier Devils. Give me the Xavier Fighting Nuns.
You were closer.
Give me the Xavier Yellow Jackets.
Okay. Musketeers.
Musketeers? How was that any closer? I would never have gotten that. Okay.
Like Princeton, man. Horns up. Give me Texas. I think they get it done. Sorry to my family up in Ohio, Kentucky area. Xavier is a Cincinnati school. Great basketball program. Texas is hot right now. Number 9, FAU. First time they've ever won first and second round games in program history. Taking on number 4, Tennessee. Tennessee 5.5-point favorite, though.
Give me FAU, baby. They're the Lightning Bolts. They're the Jaguars. They're the
Who?
Belladonnas. They're the Owls.
Owls. There it is.
All right.
I'm taking Tennessee.
Come on.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm taking Tennessee. Number 3, Kansas State taking on number 7, Michigan State. Michigan State 2-point favorite.
Give me Sparty.
I'm with you. Give me Tom Izzo in the Spartans. I said it when we talked about earlier. Just something about an old blue blood coach in the March Madness. He's been there before. He knows what it takes. He's going to get it done. But I do want to shout out Kansas State. I don't know if you remember Keontae Johnson. Played for Florida. He's the guy that collapsed in the middle of the floor. His heart stopped. people thought, man, is this guy dead? Like seriously, they thought he might have died on the court. Goes to the hospital. He's in the hospital for extended amount of time. Comes back, and obviously Florida. He doesn't play basketball for Florida. They ruled that doctor said, yeah, you could play if you wanted to. Florida's like, it's not worth the risk, liability. You can't play for us anymore. So he transfers to Kansas State, and he has been a building block for that Kansas State program. Him and Marcus Noel have been lights out for him. I like the way those two play, but I'm still taking Michigan State. But I had to give shout out to Johnson. What a comeback! What a return for that young man. So shout out to him.
Really betting on yourself there.
Exactly. Oh, I forgot to mention, NCAA has a insurance policy where he could have walked away with $5 million because he
What?
$5 million could have walked away and said, I don't want to play basketball anymore. I put my life at risk. Insurance policy claimed it.
Wow.
Bet on himself. Full bet.
Wow.
Yeah. So even hats off to you. I really hope it pays out. I hope you turn that 5 million to 20 million, 50 million, 100 million.
Dang.
Yeah. Number 8, Arkansas taking number 4, UConn. UConn 3.5-point favorite.
Give me the Razorbacks.
So big. I'm with you. Give me Arkansas as well. Man, I feel like I've taken a lot of SEC teams here. This is going to bite me in the ass.
Let's go.
Number 3, Zaga taking on number 2, UCLA. UCLA 2-point favorite.
Give me the Bruins.
The Brouhahas. Give me Zaga. Give me Timmy. They've been there before. They know how to get it done. Give me Zaga.
Was he the dude with the mustache?
Yeah, and the headband.
Yeah, give me Gonzaga.
We're back, baby. Flip flop.
Yeah, flip it flap.
Man, me, we went what? 4 picks, 4 out of 8
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Not bad.
I'll take that.
Better stay away from those 4 picks that we had.
Yeah.
Picks on.
Steer clear.
Steer clear. All right, let's move into a little NFL free agency, something that you feel a little more comfortable in. But hey, you held your own there pretty good, Tim. Shout out to you.
Thanks, dog. Hey, I'm just following your lead, big guy.
You've been doing this podcast for 2 years, and it shows.
Mm.
Shows. You're a locker room type of guy. High vibes.
I see you. Thank you.
All right, let's talk about, we talk about a comeback story of Johnson. Let's talk about this comeback story. Laramie Tunsil. All right. A lot of people probably know Tunsil's story, right? He's coming from Ole Miss. He's supposed to be a first overall pick. Then 5 minutes before the draft, that pitcher shows up and taking rips out of a gas mask bong there. And that showed up 5 minutes before draft day. He was self-sabotaged by somebody in his inner circle, whether it was his stepdad or his agent or his financial advisor. Somebody screwed him over because he goes from probably the first overall pick, slides all the way 13 to Miami. But Laramie Tunsil he balls out of Miami, gets traded to Houston. He resets the contract levels, floor, ceiling, whatever you want to call it. He resets the money being paid to tackles. He just did it again Sunday, signing a 3-year, $75 million. That's for a lineman, for a tackle. Laramie Tunsil is getting that bag. So I love this story. I'm sure he's like, man, I fucked up in that video, and I don't know why I took that video. Somebody sabotaged me. He had to cut the snakes. He had to cut the grass, keep the snakes out. But Tunsil, it seems he's been doing it right, and he doesn't have an agent. He does this all negotiating by himself, and it's working out for him.
Yeah, I think during our next contract talks, Parker, I'm going to have a video leak of me ripping a bong, and then, I'm just kidding. But really, I think this goes to show that, look at there.
Father Fitz.
Yo.
Look at there.
Golly.
I think it goes to show that there seems to be a right way of advocating for yourself, advocating for your play, putting the film out there, doing it without a what's the word they have a specific word for agents that work in the NFL and agents that don't work in the NFL.
Like a PR type of deal?
Yeah, it's like some sort of like authorized agent or something. I think he used some sort of unauthorized agent or something like that. But there's ways to do it.
Yeah.
And then you see like this weird Lamar situation, and it's like you kind of have both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So I like this side where this player is advocating for himself, his play, and he sets the market versus the other side. I know it's a whole other position. It's almost like apples to oranges, but the common denominator here is if they're advocating for themselves and they're almost like their own agents, then take these two case studies and figure out what happened in each if you're a
Right.
player. That's what I would be doing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Listeners, watchers, Father Fitz has joined us. We thought he was going to be ruled out. Game time decision. He's back. in the
Golly.
lineup, baby.
Yeah, questionable.
Yeah. Laremy Tunsil, we're just talking about, man, he reset the tackles and offensive lineman contract ceilings negotiations here with this deal. And it's awesome because you think about it, last time we heard from Tunsil or not last time, but the first time we heard from him in the pro level, he was getting shit on for taking rips from a bong, and it cost his draft status a little bit.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about little Texans here. Let's continue with the Texans and their continuous rebuild here, which has been pretty cool. They get Schultz. They get Singletary. Offense seems to be trending up. They have a first 5. They have the second pick in the draft. Texans, they weren't a bad team last year. I take that back. They were a bad team. They had some good pieces, though. And now they add even more pieces to their offense and defense. And Texans, I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I'm not saying they're going wild card, but I think we see a drastic improvement on the field here. Tim Fitz, any thoughts about this one?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Kind of like, it's hard for me to not compare them to the Lions a couple of years ago, where they and the reason I'm making that comparison is now they're getting this players coach. This players coach is stepping in, and the whole offseason you're hearing about the praise that this defensive coach has, and these players just really like playing for him. And now he's got the spotlight. And so I kind of want to see how that transition takes. Because for the Lions, it's taken us a long time, and I'm not saying we're out of it, but like we're starting to look like a functional organization. Houston looked terrible last year.
Yeah.
And the year before, ever since Bill O'Brien was like just ransacking the organization. So I think it's going to take some time. Like you, Parker, I don't think it's going to be a wild card race, but they're not going to be picking top 2 or 3, I think, next year. They might be, 6 or 7, but I think they're going to be better. So
bottom 10, not bottom 5.
Bingo.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the comparison of the Lions there. That was good. I like how you just shitted on them when I was trying to be nice, but I'm glad you're like the anger management there. Fitz.
Yeah.
What you got here, Fitz?
I think it's exciting for Texans fans. Obviously, this is not the same Texans team as the Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt era, but I think it's a step. It's definitely a positive step in a direction. So they're probably gonna be seeking their quarterback. I would think either this draft. I feel like you got to this draft. I don't know, and maybe that's why the Panthers even traded up. Is they're looking at who might take a quarterback, and I would imagine Texans need to, unless they really don't feel good with the selections, or who they could end up with. Yeah. But I don't know. There's a lot of faces there, even outside Schultz and Singletary. I think I saw Shaq Mason.
There. They still have Pierce in the backfield.
Yeah. Stud. Dog.
No, Cooks is gone.
Yeah.
He got traded. But Texans have 12 draft picks this year. They have 2 in the first round, 2 in the top 15. So
yeah,
a lot can change.
Yeah, and I feel like the Titans are trending down in that division.
They are.
I feel like the Jags are trending up, but the Colts and Titans are trending down, and so the Texans are like, hey, we might be able to compete with the Jags. So I'm sure they're going to be.
Chance.
I'm sure they're going to be a little confident that I think they can put themselves at maybe second in the division or third.
Yeah. And, I've gone on record and I've shit on this quarterback class. Like, I don't think it deserves the hype it's getting necessarily as a class entirely, but you're sitting at number 2. I like CJ Stroud. I like Bryce Young way better than I like Davis Mills. And I'm sorry, long neck Mills. So I think you have to go quarterback at number 2. You have to. But all right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Carolina team. None of us root for the Panthers, and I think
I kind of do.
Oh, all right. Well,
My mom's a big Panthers fan.
Shout out Dirty Diana. But
Yep, Dana.
Panthers, are you buying or selling the hype from the Panthers right now? They sign Adam Thielen. They get Hayden Hurst from my Bengals. They get Sanders from Philadelphia. It seems like they're going to go quarterback number 1. A lot of talks about CJ Stroud going number 1. Seems like Frank Reich really likes the way CJ Stroud balls, and he was there as pro day dapping him up, talking about let's play basketball when we move to Charlotte, that type of stuff. So all things look like CJ Stroud, and if you're one of these young quarterbacks coming in, sure, are these weapons Jamar Chase and Jamal Williams and stuff? No, but it's better than what you had. And these guys are great security blankets. Like Hurst and Thielen and Sanders, they're all check down guys. You can get them the ball easy. They're going to catch it. It's guaranteed. And they're great security blankets for a young quarterback to develop. Like, are you buying or selling the Panthers hype here?
I'm liking it. Thielen stands out to me. That Thielen just seems like your locker room guy. Like he's going to be the vocal leader of this team that the Panthers need. I don't think they've had it since Luke Kuechly had to retire, and maybe McCaffrey was that guy or was going to be that guy, but you always felt like he was injured and just kind of not on the field. But I feel like Thielen's going to be there, and I think you can build around that. Not build around Thielen, but I think you can build around having him as a leader and then bringing in like a young quarterback. They'll probably draft a receiver. And yeah, you get some veterans on the offense that they're not a flash in the pan, but collectively, I think they can be competitive. And so I don't know. I have more questions about Frank Reich and how Frank Reich's going to change.
Yeah.
Or kind of, man, I just like the culture that Wilkes was bringing last year. So I'm not sure what Frank Reich's going to add or what he's going to do different, but this will help to have some fresh faces in there and just start new.
I like that take about locker room guys. And I think all 3 of these guys, you look at them, they're great locker room guys. And they bring a certain veteran presence and a certain like, hey, this is how we do it. And if you look at all 3 of those teams, they've been playoff teams. Sanders, obviously coming from the Super Bowl. Hurst played for Baltimore and Cincinnati on deep playoff runs. Thielen playing deep playoff runs in Viking country. Like, they bring a certain like swagger to him, but I think you're right. Ball's in Frank Reich's court. We'll see what he does with it.
Man, maybe Thielen will vouch for T. Henne and bring T. Henne to the Panthers.
That'd be dope.
Wouldn't that be something?
T. Henne would be
like,
high.
Hey, there's this cat in Minnesota that he's from North Carolina. Yeah, like easy. Just bring him in for summer training. The
boys from the pub call him the White Randy Moss, so you got to sign.
Yeah, like just bring him to training camp, and I'm sure like where Minnesota was like a crowded depth chart when it came to receiver. I think the Panthers are just looking for guys. So
Thielen, be a boy. Tell the Thurs about the boy, T. Henne. Tim, thoughts here?
First and foremost, I just got to get this off my chest. Adam Thielen's a little bitch.
No. What? Dude.
I just got to say it.
I'm a Packers fan.
This doesn't help our boy, T. Henne.
I can't stand Adam Thielen.
Why?
The thing that – so –
He's on my list of like one of the most likable guys in the league.
No. He's similar to Josh Allen. He's –
oh my gosh.
He's always complaining to the refs. If something doesn't go his way, you always see him jawing at the ref. And it's like,
He's competitive.
No, that's no.
He's a
there's
different
difference
type
between-
of. He's a different type of receiver. He's not going to
Yeah,
get the separation that
he's-
Jefferson's going to get, and he gets irritated when he gets held as a receiver, because that's
Yeah.
usually how people have to stop Thielen.
Yeah, and then you have people like us who are saying, like, man, like, what's going on? Why aren't the refs called? I don't want to see any player talk and bitch to the ref. Hey, man, he's holding me. Or that's not a pass interference. What the hell? That annoys the shit out of me. And Adam Thielen's a little bitch because that's all he did last year. So, all
man.
right. All right. I'm good. Had to get that out of my system. The
Jeez.
one concern I have with the Panthers is partially is okay. So let's say they get a quarterback, great. You got some pieces around the quarterback, great. You don't really have any high draft picks for the this draft and next draft, and you just gave away DJ Moore. So like, if you're Frank Reich, are you banking on making a competitive year this year and then having free agents come in the next 2 years, or what's the long-term goal? Because I mean, you had to give away the bank to get the pick, but like that seems like a here and now kind of thing. But if you're trying to stay here for 4 or 5 years, what's the goal? Like, are you just trying to attract free agents in the next couple of years and have a young quarterback on a rookie contract that you can afford? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the next couple seasons, but I think they'll make a little splash this year, especially in the NFC South.
Does feel a little bit like Moneyball. Like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
bringing it like the Island of Misfits toys. Like, he's just kind of bringing in who he can. But the NFC South's wide open. So, I mean, maybe he's like, we just got to be, we have a chance to win the division if we can find chemistry with the right guys. Now, they may not be, trying to be realistic of who they can get, because it doesn't sound like a lot of people want to come to Carolina right now.
Yeah.
But hey, you get a young rookie, you get the right guy. I mean, that's the Panthers' goal, is we're gonna get our, I don't want to say Mahomes, because that feels like a once in a generation type of deal, but we're gonna get our Justin Fields, or we're gonna get our Jalen Hurts type guy who may be able to carry us, and we'll have some pieces around him that can make it work. And our division is not that competitive to begin with. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the plan is.
Yo, if they sign Bobby Wagner, who's like probably the top rated defensive free agent, and they have a hell of a draft, that division wide open. Derek Carr better watch out for the Saints. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about a former Panther, former Patriot, Mr. Cam Newton. Performed in Auburn's pro day. Hypothetical GM, we love playing it here. Would you take Cam into your locker room? What contract are you giving him if you do bring him in?
Man, I love Cam. Can't do it.
Not even as a
Can't do
backup
it.
for Goff?
Not even as a backup. I mean, Cam's the star of the show, right? Cam's not playing second fiddle to any quarterback. If he's on the roster, he's the number one guy. And if I'm building the roster, I don't want him as the number one. I'd love him as the number two, but that's just not feasible. So love you, Cam, but can't do it. Won't do it.
Man, I don't know. And I know he made a comment about looking at the quarterbacks around this league, just kind of like, who could use me? And I think he does have a point. The problem is his game doesn't back it up. I think what we've seen from Cam in the past few seasons, it's not MVP Cam. I really don't know what happened to Cam Newton. All I can tell you is I was at training camp the summer after that Super Bowl, the disappointing Super Bowl, and he didn't look into it. And the one day I was at camp, I sound like I'm freaking Skip Bayless, but I swear we were at camp and we're like, he's not even trying. He just didn't look. just didn't look locked in, didn't look focused,
I-
and he just kind of fell off.
He lost more than the Super Bowl there. He lost a piece of his game, I think, and it's hard to find. And Denver
Mhm.
exposed him. Like, he does not deal with the rush well, and so we're
Yeah.
going to send edges and twists and stunts off him,
Mhm.
and he just didn't respond well. And I think it showed a lot of defense in how he plays. But I think he lost some of his swagger, some of his edge.
Yeah,
Tim, I'm surprised. I look at Dan Campbell biting kneecaps, chewing on nails, grit mentality. Cam Newton has that chip on him. Like, his swagger matches Dan Campbell's swagger. Now, yes, he does want to be the star. He wants to be the starter. But you only have one quarterback under contract. That's Jared Goff. What? I don't know. I think he fits Dan Campbell. I'm not saying Jared Goff doesn't. I like him in that Honolulu blue jersey as long as you get him for a contract friendly deal, like 1 year, $2 million.
oh,
See
Kim's
what
not
you
going.
get.
He's not going to Detroit.
I don't know.
That's the last
Yeah.
place he's going.
Yeah, I just don't know. He's the culture they've built between Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell is, I don't know, that there's
Yeah.
this the personality. They let the personality, you kind of shine, but there's also this humbleness to people or to the players. It's Cam Newton. That ain't happening.
See, I think he's been humble, dude. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Dog,
I'm not
hit-
I'm not a comic book guy, but I know like Superman, Super Cam. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, if Denver was his kryptonite and he hadn't recovered, what's gonna get Superman back on top, or is he just screwed? Is
See,
he just
we got him all wrong. He's like Batman, Batcam, and he's got his back broken by the Denver defense, and now he's had
okay?
to go in the dungeon, train,
I
reheal.
just don't think he's in the dungeon.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Cam Newton. We talked about this 2 years ago. Just his videos
Mhm.
he was putting out and like his chippiness and like we like what he's doing. I think his time's up though. I do. I don't know. I would probably take a bet on if I'm the Tennessee Titans, the Lions, maybe the Raiders. I might take a look at Cam here, but the teams are few and far between.
Didn't he have that dumbass comment the other day or the other year of like a woman's place is in the kitchen or something?
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
so-
yeah.
Yeah,
He
maybe
lost,
he needs
he
to
lost the
Yeah.
what was the yogurt company? Dykos.
Oikos.
yeah,
Yeah, he needs
Oikos.
to reevaluate some things, I think.
That's a good one. Yeah, I forgot about that. All right, Tim, let's stay with your Lions here. They get a huge help on defense.
Yeah!
C.J.
Man,
Gardner
scary.
Johnson.
Scary.
Go! And we got something. Dude,
Dude.
Yeah.
I am twisting my nipples to this. This is like, oh my gosh. Guys, every year, every offseason, I'm like, our defense is somehow getting worse. I don't understand how we're getting worse at defense. This is the first season where I'm like, wait, we signed who? Wait, who's coming to Detroit? Wait, what? Like, this is,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
can't get over this. This is great.
Dude, like I think he was tied for the top interceptions in the league last year. He
Yep.
missed 5 games with the lacerated kidney. 5 games. And he was tied for the top interception.
Yeah.
This is scary for the NFC North or NFC opponents in general. Like, it's a 1-year deal. If he balls out, you gotta keep him in Detroit, baby. Because I think he is gonna ball out. Like, that defense has gotten so much better. I can't wait to see what you guys do in the draft. Like, trending up Lions, buy some stock now.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're I don't know. Brad Holmes, when we picked him up from the Rams, I was pretty excited. He did great with scouting for the Rams. And when he took the GM position, I was stoked. But there was this whole sentiment online of like, okay, guys, you gotta let Brad cook. Like, you gotta let him cook. Don't get too upset because we hadn't been making waves. Now we're making waves, and it's kind of coming to fruition. The young talent that he drafted, the pieces he put around Goff, and now he's building up our weakest point. And so he was wearing this hoodie that said villain.
Yes.
And I love it. Everyone loves it. Like, he's got to play the villain role right now. I mean, he's the GM that all the players love. but like when it comes down to brass tacks, he's the villain. He's got to do it. Like, I love you, Jamal. Jamal, you'll always have a special place in my heart. But his agent fucked him up. His agent did him
Mhm.
dirty, and now he's playing for the Saints. So I love you, Jamal, but I'm sorry, man. Can't do it.
Yeah. That one broke both our hearts because I really thought he was going to be playing for Cincinnati.
Mhm.
I thought he was going to complete the
Trifecta.
throuple. Yeah. All right. Well, Fitz, you missed basketball. You missed Japan's World Baseball Championship. You missed us talking about a little college wrestling. So I'm going to give you Fitz's fast minutes. You got 4 minutes on the clock. You dive into whatever you want here, brother.
Whatever I want,
4 minutes, start now. Fitz's
like
fast
anything,
minutes.
current, present, past.
Basketball, Japan, sure, whatever you want.
I mean, I thought the Otani thing was cool. Otani versus Trout. Two teammates going at it. Just great look for baseball, and great for Japan. Just to come out on top there. Again, my dad and I have always talked about you have a chance to make the World Series a true World Series, and I think maybe that's what this baseball classic could be. So yeah, that's really cool. I'm trying to think basketball wise. Man, there's just too much to unpack in 3 minutes, but not surprised that Purdue was stunned. Wasn't surprised by that. Was not surprised that Arizona was stunned. You should see my bracket, Tim. I called these. I had Oral Roberts taking down Purdue because Oral Roberts had a 7'4" guy. What I did not see happening was FDU. The strategy was brilliant from FDU. They basically, it wasn't a triangle and two, but they basically had two guys on Edey the entire time. And are you saying you're kidding me? Because last week I was hyping up Edey.
You hyped
So
up,
here's
yeah.
the thing. I did hype up Edey, but here's the thing: is I also said that Purdue relies on kicking it to Edey, and then Edey's going to dish it out to Purdue to spot up and hit threes. The problem is Purdue's 3-point shooters shot 19% in the whole game. So it was brilliant from ODU's standpoint. Is they did a really good job defending the perimeter and basically just like not give it just anyone's going to beat us but Edey. Like we're gonna protect, but then we're gonna defend the perimeter. And they just honestly, that's the danger. I think the danger of March Madness is some of these good teams, just kind of speaking generally about March Madness, some of these really good teams will not change their game plan. They'll just say, all right, it's worked for us all year, worked for us as we won the Big Ten or like whatever. So now we're playing this opponent. We'll just stick to our game and, we'll make a few adjustments here and there, but overall we're going to do with what works for us. And some of these smaller schools would come in and like, all right, if we're going to beat Purdue, we got to do this, this, and this. And that's what makes I think that's what makes the early round so interesting is that some of these smaller schools they're kind of working more analytically. Like, how do we stop this? How do we stop the freaking 7'4" Zach Edey from killing us? Where Purdue's just like, how do we get going? How do we get our game? Because it's not working today. And I feel like that's kind of been a constant with college basketball, but it's maybe been more present, especially with like younger stars and older teams and stuff. But but I'm not surprised at the tourney right now. I'm excited for a few teams at this point. Thanks for putting that up there. K-State, Michigan State is going to be a battle.
Mm-hmm.
I think the winner of that game could make their way to the championship. They're just going to be they're heavy hitters, both of those teams. San Diego State, Bama. Again, my senior scores. I think I highlighted last week. San Diego State. I think they got a perfect 4.0 on my senior score versus a young Bama team. So that'll be interesting. Creighton, Princeton. I don't know. I like Creighton. I think Princeton's run's going to come to an end. I'm big on Houston. I'm waiting for Miami to fizzle. Xavier, Texas should be good. FAU, Tennessee should be good. Arkansas over Kansas. You had Arkansas. Bunch of NBA stars in the making on that team. Their chemistry's been kind of whack. I blame their coach. I'm not a big fan of their coach, but they've got some great talent on that team. But UConn, they seem like the program. Really excited for Gonzaga, UCLA. That is, I had that highlighted when the brackets came out. Was hoping to be those two teams. Last time they played, it was the Bill Raftery. I always say his name wrong. Rafferty. He did his famous onions.
Oh, that's right.
UCLA tied it with like a few seconds, and then Gonzaga point guard banked in a 3 at the buzzer to take him over. So should be a good battle between those two. But I think UCLA is looking for revenge, unfortunately, on Mark Few and the boys. UCLA is my pick to win it all.
Hey, not bad, Fitz. A little bit over the 4 minutes, but Fitz's fast minutes. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, boys. Pub parlay time. Me and Fitz have to say our bad on last week.
Yeah, my bad. I
thanks,
banked
man.
on Rick Pitino. That was my bad.
I'm on a 3-game skid here, so I'm about to fade me,
Oh,
and I'm
Precarious,
gonna,
guys.
I'm just gonna listen to the facts. That's it.
well, what day are we going with?
It's up to you guys. I think that's what messed us up. We couldn't get the audio right last week. Couldn't get the music. We're back on our grind. We're here to work.
Saturday. Y'all cool with it?
Saturday.
Oh, I will say.
Saturday.
Yeah, we can do that.
And if you're doing college basketball games, you could also do Friday as well.
I was gonna say, man,
They're
San
pro.
Diego State's got good odds against Bama.
So.
That's a tasty one. But we're not gonna do that. So we're doing
All right,
Saturday.
We could do Friday or Saturday. I'm sure Tim's doing XFL.
Yeah,
So we could do
Saturday, Tim?
any of Friday or Saturday. It's fine.
Saturday. I'm cool with.
Do it.
Some good games. Good games. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Sea Dragons over the Orlando Guardians. Oh, my camera.
Is that Saturday?
It's Saturday, yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All
right.
Yeah, Orlando Guardians, trash. Danucci's not playing great. He's really kind of trying to force feed Josh Gordon. I don't know. I mean, it's Josh Gordon, but you don't have to force feed him. Danucci's causing a lot of turnovers. I think if Danucci gets hot at the right moment, it could be an explosive team. So give me the Sea Dragons. That's expert XFL coverage here, boys.
I'm here for it. Someone's got to be our XFL and that analyst, and it's you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you for your service.
Bucks are playing the Nuggets on Saturday. The top two teams, the top team in the East and the top team in the West.
Get
I've
them
said the
done,
West
boys.
is better, so that would make me want to go with the Nuggets. Where's this game at? This game's in Denver, though, so Denver's going to be the favorite, which would give us good odds with the Bucks. I think it's going to be close. You know what? I think the Bucks are hungry. Let's take the Bucks to upset the Nuggets.
I like it. Bucks.
Why not?
I don't see any odds released for that game, but you might have them in front of you. I see the
If
January.
it's better,
game.
hey, if it's better to take
No,
Bucks covering, like
Yeah,
you
to
don't have to
cover.
do that?
Yeah,
we could do Bucks to cover
Yeah.
because it's probably gonna be really close anyway. So
they just have the January game where Bucks were the heavy favorites, but it was in Milwaukee.
it was in
so,
Milwaukee.
Yeah. All right. Heads or tails, boys?
Tails.
Tails never
Tails.
fails. Give me Princeton. Princeton money line to take down Creighton.
Oh,
Wow, dude.
I've stopped listening to my mind. Stop listening to my heart.
Okay.
You guys flipped a coin
Okay.
for me.
Okay.
Ivy League. What a run. Princeton. Blake Peters. All right. There's the pub parlay. Sea Dragon money line, Bucks money line, Princeton money line. Let's go, boys. Let's make some money. Let's retire at 30. That's our goal here.
Mhm.
All right. Anybody got a random question for us?
I might have one.
one.
I might have one.
All right.
It's kind of a sports related question.
Mm-mm.
So I was in a conversation with a buddy. We were talking about rec league basketball, and I was reminiscing about I still cannot get over can't get over my coach who got a technical and a double technical in our playoff game. He had to give us trophies in the parking lot. So basically we had our big man, we fed Carson the rock, and he took a hard foul, hit the deck, and he's like crying. I'm in like 6th grade. He hits the deck, he's crying. Coach comes over to check on him. Ref didn't call the foul. And coach says something, probably where the hell's the call or something. And all it's just T. And I remember at that point, we're all paying attention, and coach is like, well, you might as well give me 2. He's like, all right, you're out of here, coach. And he gave us trophies after the loss. And he's like, guys, I'm just so sorry. I lost my head there. Had cookie cake and trophies in the parking lot. But I guess my question is, what is your wildest memory from Little League sports or like rec league sports?
Wildest memory. I don't know, man. Like, that's tough. My dad was my youth league soccer coach. And so it was always like, it was special looking back on it, but during it, like on the rides home, I'd be like, yeah, I played good. And he'd be like, did you? Did you? I'm like, yeah, I think so. Did you? But I don't know. I always enjoyed the way my dad did. He'd give me like a compliment sandwich. He'd tell me something good I did, something real shitty I did, and something I did pretty good too. So he like snuck it in there, how he'd dig at me. He did that all the way through high school. Like even after the games, he'd be like,
Jeez.
hey, you had some great snaps, but number 56 whooped your ass. Hey, that was a great chop block though. I'm like, oh, come on.
See, my parents were the opposite. It was just all positive.
Yeah.
And I was like I was harder on myself. And I'm like, tell me something. No, you were great. You were great. It's like, I know I wasn't. It's like,
Yeah.
give me
Don't you
something
lie to
work
me.
with. Yeah. I can sniff through the bullshit. But
Yeah.
The question is the craziest memory or what was the
craziest
question?
memory. Just like the craziest thing. Like what stands out is like, that was wild.
I remember Little League football, our quarterback. So we just, all right, year before won the championship, right? We're running it back. We're doing good. Our quarterback tore his ACL. And at the time, I had no idea what an ACL was. I'm playing Pokemon before football practice, and then I just go put on my pads and snap the ball. And I remember seeing the coach's face when all this was happening, and he was our quarterback. And so we were kind of screwed. And I was just like, what? His knee did what? His knee is, what position is his knee in? It just blew my mind. We made it to the championship that year, but we lost to the Gators. I can't remember what division or region they were in, but that just blew my mind. That was my first reality of hey, you're playing a dangerous game.
How old were you?
This had to be 5th grade.
5th grade towards ACL.
Yeah,
That's tough.
yeah,
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's
it
scary.
was- yeah. He was. I don't even know, man. It blew my mind. But
Man.
I also remember standing. You know how you'd all kind of line up, and then they'd say, or they'd have the national anthem play. I remember one time I really, really had to pee. Like I had to pee so bad, and I remember looking over to one of my teammates, and I was like, I might pee my pants. Like they have to hurry this up because I am gonna go. I did not pee my pants, but that was also pretty traumatizing.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
I love it. That's a good one, Tim.
I have a second
Yeah.
crazy
Go for
memory.
it.
But besides honorable mention, I once blocked Caleb Presley's jump shot from Barstool
Ooh.
Sports. I was in 3rd or 4th grade. He's pulling up for a mid-range. I wasn't even guarding him, but I somehow reached behind. He's way taller than me, but I somehow reached behind and they called a jump ball tie up as he was going in a shot. So I thought of that. I was like, wow, I can't believe forgot I blocked Caleb's shot. I guess that counts. He probably doesn't remember. But but no, the one that grinds my gears more than the double tech in the playoffs was in 8th grade. My team, the Spurs, because that year we had NBA team names for some reason. Before that, it was just blue team, yellow team.
You're right.
We were the Spurs that year. I remember my team started 1-3, I think. I think we were 1-3. And our 2 star players, we had Jeff, who probably shot 12% from 3, never passed the ball. And then we had a guy, I don't want to say his name, but he got in trouble for pushing crystal meth in middle school.
Yep.
What?
And so our best players so that guy left, and like he was like not allowed to play. Jeff just gave up on us. He's like, they're 1-3, they're trash. I'm gonna play with my travel ball team. And I was like, this guy plays travel ball? What is that? And so we were left.
Shit.
We were left with our point guard at that point became Ben Wells, just a phenom in the Buncombe County area.
Yeah, the whole Wells
and we just
family.
had all these like role players. So like, and we only had like at that point we went from like 8 guys to 6. So all of us got significantly more playing time. And I just remember it would be like, it'd be like just an NBA team consisted of just role players. We were like the Utah Jazz. We did not lose another game. Like when those stars left, we went on a run. We were like, I think we finished the season 9-3. We earned the 2 seed to go into the playoffs. And like, it was just like, what was cool about Ben gets a shout out because he probably averaged like 6 points a game, maybe less, but he probably averaged like 8 assists, 11 steals, and like 7 rebounds. It was like the first time in my life, like my middle school brain was like, oh, you can win a game. Like you'd be the best player on the floor and just be good at defense, rebounds, and passing and control a game. Like Ben he just distributed to everyone and just made us all better. And well, then playoffs were the 2 seed. We play against the 7 seed Lakers. Oh, and that's when our 2 stars want to come back. And so our coach, again, I'm scratching my head, coach. He let them play, and we lost. There was a buzzer beater layup with like 1 second left that the Lakers hit on us. And I'm just sitting there like, you got to trust what got you here, coach. It was the role players. It was the deep bench, man. It was young Fitz hitting the mid-range. It was Rod Brown just being a pest on defense. Or Eric Diekman being just a force in the paint. Just had some crazy obscure names. That's still just I can't let that go. Coach let me down.
That's tough. It's tough.
Hate to see it.
All right, hey, that's gonna do it. And we hope you enjoyed it. We're glad to be back once again. I take the L for the audio last week. I don't know what happened to it. We got the video.
2 lost episodes now.
Yeah, but we'll catch you guys next Wednesday or Tuesday. Father Fitz is in the trenches there, so we might bump it up to Tuesday for until Lent's over and Easter
Deep in
Sunday
the
gets here.
wake. Deep in the wake of Lent season. Yeah.
You guys have a beautiful weekend.
Yep.
Bye.
I got nothing. I gotta come with a better outro.
Every time. Oh
I
my
lost.
gosh.
Yeah, I lost my
We
touch.
would
Death,
we would be
taxes,
the bad boys of
Fitz
Little League.
fucking
I'm
up
telling you now. We would beat the tar out of the other team. I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on. We're all a little soft.
Has to
and
be.
misunderstood.
Has to be.
That was a journey.
Man, I'm gonna get real theological on y'all. I
Oh,
think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. I'll just be real honest.
Get Luke Combs. I was begging for Luke Combs not too long ago. We'll get Luke Combs on here. I challenge Luke. I think I can actually beat him in shotgunning a beer. So if he thinks
She
he's
got the
cojones,
best of me.
come on and try. Then by all means,
my
bring it up.
heart.
That's the intro. You just hit my promo for me, James. I love it.
Promo.